If you or someone close to you has ever worked in radio, you know that some pretty wild stuff happens behind the scenes. Welcome to Crazy Radio Stories.
I used to work in Fresno in the mid-'90s, and I was on a radio station, actually probably one of the first jocks. Back when I started, the program director's name was Don. He was the ultimate, pig vomit, right? I was his music director, and he would tell labels that he was going to add a record on Tuesday and then never would. And then, of course, I would have to take the brunt. So he was awful. So one day he's like, hey, let's go have lunch. And I'm like, all right. And we go have lunch. And he's like, I want you to stop saying damn, hell, or Carlota.
Whoa.
And I was like, well, yeah. I'm like, well, my name is Carlota, so we'll start there. But also, damn or hell, what's the problem? You know, it's an alternative station. We're talking to men, 18 to 24, or whatever at the time, 1834. And he was like, well, would you get in front of 100,000 people and say damn or hell? And I was like, yeah, I would. And secondly, Radio 101, I'm talking to one person, and they're a really good friend. So I would say damn or hell all day long, plus more.
Right.
So anyways, that night, I went on the air, and I was like, I opened the show like this. Damn, baby, how the hell are you? It's Carlota. And I was flipping off the microphone, right?
I can picture this in my mind's eye as you're describing it. Yep.
Well, I got fired a week later.
Okay.
So anyways, the rock station across the street hired me that day. I got fired on a Friday, got picked up on Monday.
Nice.
And I was a warrior, right? And I made it a thing. Everybody knew about except for I changed his name to Dick. So I'd call him when I was on the air, and I'd air it. Shh, hi, is Dick there? And be like, fuck you, Carlota, and he'd yell, and he'd hang up all his stuff. I mean, we went to war, right? So when concerts would come to town, what we would do at the rock station, we would line our cars up on the street right in front of the venue, and then we'd banner them, right? Because you couldn't banner the venue.
Brilliant.
So we bannered all our cars together. So we had ownership every show. Well, this irritated New Rock 104. So Dawn, one night before a Collective Soul show, put their station vehicle the night before in front of the venue, thinking they're good. They're going to have prime real estate. Problem is, we had a part-time tow truck driver on our staff.
Yes.
Towed that bitch about 3 blocks up the street, right? So New Rock 104 shows up, and literally we are in front of the venue, not just in cars, but we have an Army flatbed truck. We got huge speakers on top of it. We've got a 2.5-story mascot blow up, which was the wild hair, like a big rabbit, but just all tattooed out and has a guitar, and he's 2.5 stories tall. We were pouncing on them in their little tent across the street. It was a little tent, you know what I mean? Yeah. A little radio tent, right? We're just on top of them. Well, my boss loved my warrior status, my soldierness. So he was he pulled me off the air and was like, you're broadcasting live out there. So I'm out there live and I'm broadcasting. I'm like, hey, what's up? Da, 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 whatever, just doing my thing. And then all of a sudden I'm live and I see walking towards us. Well, here I come, right? I was like, oh, hey, what's up, Dick? Hey, it's Dick, everybody. What's going on, Dick? And I mean, it's just blasting right at him. And he looks at me, and all of a sudden, the next thing I know, he's on top of me, right? And I'm up against the truck, right? He's got me pressed, and he's screaming something in my ears, and I'm still live on the radio. And he's screaming something, and I'm like, oh, it's Dick. Hey, Dick, what's up? Oh, he's right behind me. I'm like, Dick, make yourself useful while you're... Oh, that's right. There's nothing that makes you useful. And he lost his shit. They pulled him off of me, and the next thing, he's gone. And everybody's just cracking up we can't believe that happened. I'm like, I don't know. Whatever, and I'm just having fun. We're just out there jamming. Now, this is 1997.
That was my next question about what time this was. Okay.
About 97. So, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have anything like that. All of a sudden, they're like, Carlota, grab the disposable camera. Grab the camera. But it was a disposable one. Grab the camera. Grab the cameras. They're arresting right now. And I'm like, what?
For assaulting you?
No. So we run, and I'm like, what the hell was going on? And he's like, he tried to cut the power. Federal offense. But he cut the power to Star 101 because this poor little hot AC station got caught in the middle.
I'm just picturing these two rock stations going at it, and then this nice little hot AC. We're just here to be nice to everybody. And
Exactly. We're over here just duking it, right? And I ran up, and they were putting him in, and he looked up at me, and I started taking pictures, and I've never seen him again. I've never seen him again. He was long gone after that. But I will tell you, about 10 years later, I'm having dinner with, a record label, and we're just talking about things. And he's like, whatever happened to man, I don't know, And he's like, yeah, he got into records and he got his karma paid back, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, man, did you ever hear that story about the DJ that pissed him off so much that he got arrested because he, whatever? And I was like, that was me, dude. And he was like, no. And I was like, yeah, that was me. He's like, you're famous. So I'm like, well, So I was a warrior, dude. I love good old radio war stories, but that one, for me, is the best. To me, in my career.
There's something about when you go to the crosstown rival after being at the other station, particularly if you had a bad experience, bad PD, bad manager, something like that you just are like turned up inside to like, yeah, let like you said, a warrior. Let's go to war. Let's kick this guy's ass.
Totally. Just that being on the street and bannering of things and marking your territory and all that stuff, stickering the other station's vehicle. This is what we did in the 90s.
So let me come back to this second. So when Dick is up on you, that sounded bad, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he is like physically touching you or just yelling in your ear or grabbing you? Like
he had me pressed. So like his arms were around me, completely pressing me up on the truck.
Okay.
But he had me body to body up against the truck.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was just a feisty bitch, I was like, I guess he said something about me later in life. They said something that he was like, yeah, she was, like a good talent, but man, she's tough, but that's because I whooped his ass.
This has been another crazy radio story. If you want to hear more, follow the podcast wherever you're listening right now. The best way for us to grow the show is for you to share it with somebody else who'll enjoy it. If you have your own crazy radio story to share, send us an email, crazyradiostories@gmail.com. That's crazyradiostories@gmail.com.